Nation, nation, it's been a long time since I've done this, so it's time to turn back to something that I was known for early on in the Coverkiller Nation channel and late in the Coverkiller channel. And that is the band review. This is where I examine a band's complete work and give my opinion. Most times these didn't end very well. And I don't think this one's going to either. We're going to talk today about a day to remember. Now, I already see some of you out there in computer land tapping on your keyboard because of me saying this isn't going to end well, saying, well, you didn't listen to the music, Coverkiller Nation. If you did, you would be elated to do this. This is incredible work. Or, you just live in your basement. Why don't you go out and live in the real world? Okay, a couple things I'm going to say to preface this video. Firstly, I listened to this band's entire discography. I punished myself through this. And secondly, studio. Let's face it, studio. Cool work, though. Cool comments, bro. Come at me, bro. Bro, whatever swag. Anyways, it's time for us to talk about a day to remember. Now, if you guys don't know who a day to remember is, that's probably good for you, and I'm about to ruin that. But for those of you who do know, this is a band that has released 4 albums and an EP. There's also a B-sides record, and there's a 5th album coming here in 2012. And they are of the pop-punk, metalcore, post-hardcore, emo persuasion. Yay. We can already tell where this is going to go. Now, this is a band that has been taking the world by force now for the past couple of years, including their last album, What Separates Me From You, which has sold on upwards to 250,000 records. And it's something that this was a band that was completely and totally unknown to me. I didn't give a crap about them until I noticed that they were being this album was being bought in Leeds, and I started to think to myself, well, what the hell is this all about? And I listened to it and realized that it's just another emo/core/crap trend. Yes. This current trend, this current populace of pop-punk bands, so to speak, and I'm not even going to grant that the air quotations, the spirit fingers, because it's just so ridiculous, has really just proven the point that has been made for now a couple of years, that this genre is completely oversaturated, it's filled with crap, and those that do break through are not really any different than those who do not. So this is something where the DIY, the underground band that is part of this genre is not going to sound that much different than this band. And for some strange reason, some just continue to catch fire, whether it be through social media, whether it be through just touring relentlessly. Now, whenever it comes to how they promote themselves and how they've gotten their names out there, I have nothing against this band, because every band's going out there with the same intention, and that's to get themselves known and to play great music and hopefully get signed. That way they can replicate their music in the studio and give it to the world. And so with that in mind, I have to give these guys a lot of credit, because they started from pretty much nothing down in Ocala, Florida, and have ascended ever since then to a band that went to Victory Records and is now going to breach their own contract of doing 5 albums and go to a major label. But can you blame them? They just broke out. Now, I've already described the music for you, and there's really not much else to say except for describing individual aspects of the pop-punkness. Now, first off, pop-punk, for those of you who don't know, was really made famous by a band known as Blink-182. And Blink-182 was a band in the late 1990s, early 2000s that just put out a new record last year in 2011 that really formatted this sound and really brought it to mass appeal in the public eye in the latter part of the 1990s. And the big difference between this and that is the fact that this includes a lot more growling vocals. There's a couple more aspects of what some people would consider to be metal in this. I have to say this first off, just because your band growls doesn't make them a metal band. It's something where they're just incorporating that into the vocals. So please understand that these are guys that are just, you know, incorporating something that they enjoy into their music, but that does not necessarily designate it to that area of a music store. If I hear one more person come in and say, why isn't a day to remember in metal? I'm going to punch you in the face and then probably lose my job and have to go to court, or I'll punch you in the face again. That way, if I'm going to be in a jail cell getting raped up the ass by some 300-pound felon, I might as well at least have a damn good story to tell him while we're cuddling. So anyhow, the vocals are a combination of the growling and crooning that you're going to hear in the metalcore, the deathcore genres, and even in the pop emo core that you're hearing today, mixed in with the pop-punk vocals, those whiny, shrilly, just ear-piercing, nonsensical vocals that just make you want to kill yourself, and I'm sure some people have to this music, fans or not. And really, the topics in mind here are, you know, saying fuck you to the haters and personal relationships, and there's just a lot of just complaining I've heard on this album. There's just a lot of complaining, a lot of, you broke my heart, meh, 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 you know, I can't believe you did this to me, I'm done with you, you know, you're dead to me, blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on. Now, I can also hear other people tapping out there in computer internet land saying, well, they're speaking from their hearts, Mark. Don't you understand this, Coverkiller Nation? They're speaking from their hearts. It's not like that metal crap that tries to use a whole bunch of crazy philosophy and stuff like that. They're not being true to themselves. These guys, I dare to remember speaking from their hearts. Listen, that's fine. You can do what you want. That's fine. You can write lyrics about whatever the hell you want, but just the way in which they do this on a constant basis, the lacking of variety, the very bland way in which this is kind of delivered as far as a philosophical or a lyrical content is concerned, is just really bogs down your mind, just pisses you off. Really, I'm surprised that more of you aren't pissed off, but then I understand why this has such a commercial appeal to teenagers. Because whenever you're a teenager, this is what you're thinking all times. Why won't that girl go out with me? Why am I not good for any guy? Why is it that school's so hard? Why don't my parents understand me? Why is that guy at the record store being so mean, Mommy? Why is he telling me to listen to death metal? I already listen to death metal. I listen to Murray and A Day to Remember and August Burns Red and Alisana. This whole core is just absolutely atrocious, and I don't understand why some of you people enjoy this so much, but it's your opinion, and it's valid. It's something that you are entitled to. I get that part. But it's just something that's so bland that there's better things out there. There's things out there that's going to cause you to think a lot more. There's things out there that's going to have a lot more melody to it. And there's things out there that's not going to be bogged down by just simplicity. This is something that's bogged down by utter simplicity. There's a lot of other things out there that are going to really elevate your musical palette in ways in which you will never be able to understand. Even within the own genre. There are bands in this genre that I do enjoy. From Autumn to Ashes happens to be one of them that I do enjoy. Hell, even go back to the old pop-punk idea and go to a band from Canada that incorporates post-hardcore into their sound, Billy Talent, and you even have something that's got a lot more character to it and a lot more taste to it. I don't understand you people. I really don't. I don't understand why you wanted me to talk about this stuff. I'd rather, you know, go back to the 1970s and listen to Barry White for 5 hours while getting, I don't know, you know, shoving hot fucking acid-laced, you know, baloney down my mouth or something like that. I really don't care about this band at all. And the fact that these guys are selling out, I don't understand that either. It's almost like how I don't understand Slipknot, why they needed 9 members to do something that other bands can do with 4 or 5. But hey, c'est la vie. If the music is good, I suppose, fuck it. But this is just, this is something that is really just becoming a really damning trend in American and even in some worldly music anymore, and that's the fact that fans seem to be very, very akin and happy with simplicity. This is the same in pop music, this has become the same now in emo music, and it's just oversaturated hogwash. It's really, the oversaturated nature of this no longer makes it a scene, it now makes it a conglomeration. It makes it something that these labels are going to look at and figure and assume that they're going to be able to cash in on. Now let me give you a nice little taste of reality. They did that same thing with hair metal. They did that same thing initially with thrash metal. They did that initially with the whole Lady Gaga Born This Way blah 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 thing with Katy Perry, which is still selling, but there's also Jessie J, who never sold. There's Christina Perri, who had one hit single, nobody gives a fuck about her anymore. Christina Aguilera really doesn't have a career anymore because she keeps fucking shit up, even though she's on the X Factor, but nobody gives a fuck about that shit. And then, of course, there's people like Aaliyah who die in fucking plane crashes. Come on. Let's just stand back there and listen and look at the facts. This is something that's going to eventually die off. Whenever this ground of teenagers kind of grows up a little bit, are they still going to be talking about that A Day to Remember record? Or, you know, are they still going to be talking about that Sleeping with Sirens record? God, I fucking hope not. I hope they expand their musical palette a little bit and understand that there's other shit out there. There is other shit out there. Better shit. Do I have to pretend like I'm shaking your neck in order for you to understand this? Because I will do it. Because I just did it. Bottom line, this is a band that really does fit the whole teenage philosophy. I would hate this if I was in this band. If I was a member of this band, I would hate the fact that my songs are mainly being listened to and understood by a bunch of fucking teenagers that want to kill themselves because they get a C on a math test or because they missed the bus. Because something simple doesn't happen. Because their parents tell them they can't go out and stay past 10 o'clock. Because they want to stay till 11 o'clock because it's a big kid's party. I don't really care. Nobody cares. You shouldn't care. Just shut up and do your work. Cut the grass, too. Fucking brush your teeth. Anyways, bottom line, and this is my recommendation. If you're looking at A Day to Remember as a first-time user, if you're staring at the CD cover thinking that looks pretty cool, if you listen to one track and think, that's not bad, might be something worth buying, my recommendation is this. Think again. Reconsider. Consider doing something else with your life, doing something else with your time, listening to some other music. I'll even go this far. They did a tour recently with the band Rise Against. Get a Rise Against record. You'll have a lot more success there. If you really want pop punk, turn back the clock, Blink-182. Just avoid this whole genre. This genre might apply to you if you're a young kid. This genre might speak to you if you're a young kid. But you don't want to be spoken to. You don't want to be dumbed down. You don't want to have people be dumbed down to your level. Instead, you want to further yourself. You want to further progress. You want to mature. You want to learn to get over things without the aid of some asshole saying, I understand where you're coming from, bro. She's dead to me. You don't want that. You want to be bigger than that. You want to be better than that. I'm not saying that you should become a metalhead, because if you're considering A Day to Remember, your taste in music is probably bland and terrible anyways. But it's something to consider. There's a lot of better things out there than this band. I don't understand the hype. Actually, no. Because they are bland, I do understand the hype. Stop loving bland music. Demand more.